John and, let's see, all the other men behind here. John, kneeling on the bed. No, John. I mean, Fred. Fred. Maybe back. You're back. But it's interesting. I was thinking last night, you know, I had recommended to some of you the book that probably was the most important book I ever read in my life, by this man, Anton Ahrensweig, called The Psychoanalysis of Vision and Hearing, and then one that's still available in paperback from Amazon, called The Hidden Order of Art. Now, Ahrensweig, who had been a judge, I think, in Vienna until he went to England, and became sort of an art teacher. I read his book and a couple of others that talked a lot about teaching the visual arts. And I thought, my God, you know, it's really weird that what they do is so different. Because, you know, of course you might make narratives, but what they did, teaching visual arts, was to create all kinds of strange artificial situations to force the students to see differently. For instance, a classic thing that art teachers do is tell students to, you know, look at a scene, don't draw the objects, draw the spaces between the objects, okay? And that's a very simple way of reframing how you approach things. Now, that doesn't mean that people are going to do that for the rest of their lives necessarily, but an example like that, an exercise like that, maybe loosens up, opens up, makes more flexible the way that you could work. You could think about, for instance, well, what would be, you know, comparable to not making a film about the objects, but making a film about the space between the objects? I don't know if it's immediately transferable. I know I've spent a lot of my life thinking about examples like that and many others and thinking, well, could that be done in the theater? Could that loosen me up from all the habits of seeing? Making film, you know, the first thing, because I've been thinking about this watching MTV, everybody wants, for understandable reasons, to get a strong image. Wow, look at that. There's somebody lying on the bed, and I fall trapped to that too sometimes, often, want a strong image. But the real secret often, and some filmmakers, even some classical narrative filmmakers will say, you know, it's not, you have to transcend, you have to get past the strong image and either hold it past the point that you would normally do so, or wipe it out, or notice that what really is the strength of the film is not a series of strong images. A series of strong images is very good for selling cars. Well, it's Julie in the red dress? Yeah. Julie is going to sort of sit on your knees. All I'm suggesting is that people should know that the key, you know, the lock can be unlocked in many different ways. There's strange ways to unlock that lock of creativity. And, you know, we're here maybe to find some hints at some ways to unlock that lock that are not readily available. People generally are working on.
Well, I'd like to hear from you guys whether you think that's what did go on. What did go on? This alternative keys, alternative ways to open.
And I would say also that I talk about that a lot, but that's a justification, as I said to you, I think, at the beginning. Look, let's be totally honest, and this is part of the real world too. I am here, I mean, I totally approve of what Sophie is trying to do with the bridge, and that's why I wanted her to work on it and do her thing, and I totally support it. But look, I'm an artist. I'm here to exploit you all. I'm here to get material. Now, I feel an obligation as a human being to try and talk to you and explain some things, and I hope that some other things happen. But I think it important that you understand that most artists in the final analysis, yeah, they want to find ways to steal things for their work. That's the way it is. Go. Hi. People, look, something is missing from the world, so I make these plays to replace this. And then the reason I put them on stage is I call out, hey, is there anybody else out there who needs some of this? Fortunately, there have been some, but not everybody needs it. So it's up to the people.
Well, let's hear from the...
Ganz knapp an der
I had the feeling I was always waiting for something that we start. Like I had the feeling, okay, we are here. And I didn't know, like that I wasn't sure what we are doing. Like, and now I'm a bit disappointed about like that is. Okay, we made this. We spent a lot of time for making these films, like our film, and I have the feeling now I haven't anything from it because. It's now on a computer. Okay, I don't have a program, I don't have a laptop, I don't know how to get on these pictures that I can use it. And I had a feeling we do something and it's there, like that we all can take it again. And now I have the feeling, okay, we did a lot, you take this with you, and probably we can't.
Well, it's still here, because I think that our two styles can create a kind of complement, which is bigger than each of us individually.
I'm not convinced of that, but...
David Williamson.
Ja, 1:1. Aber wo das Spiel sehen soll im Fall. Das war große Klasse.
Ja?
But I felt that all of a sudden, instead of focused on some kind of alternative process, it was turning into a sort of commercial media lab studio where there was a rush at the last minute to produce a product, which is very different than what I think should be a process-oriented, just trying to make something happen that makes one stumble over the reality of trying to make something and figure out how it could be done a little differently. And I'm not saying it was wrong, and
You're pointing out, well, it's not clear whether you're pointing to Jesus himself or to